Good morning, it's Jan here from Australia. Last time we talked about some of the things that we had already done, and I showed you some collage tags, etc. This time I thought I'd show you some of the things that I've done meanwhile during the week, and this is one of them. I put together this page we'd already got. I put this one onto the next page ready, and what I did there was I folded up a book page, stuck a picture on the bottom, drew a tree, and then wrote, "How glad I am that we live in this beautiful country with all its very strange animals and its beautiful landscape, etc." So that's my gratitude part for there. And I also did, I'll put it that way, I also did another one. This one is a cutting out about houses page, and I put a pocket on this side, which is a piece of wood grain paper. I drew a little border of all different kind of houses, and I put on a piece of paper which I haven't written on, and then I'm very glad about, and in this one I wrote about living in this country where most of us have somewhere to live, some don't, and how that makes me feel grateful. And there are different kinds of houses, of course, all sorts of things around. So that's another thing that I did. All right, next thing we're going to look at is how big the cupboard needs to be. And the way you decide that is you stack up your stuff and measure it. Now, there's nowhere near all the things in it that are going to go in it. So if I do one that is 2 inches, which is what that is, it won't leave me any room to put extra things in. So if I put it in one that is just 3 inches more or less, then that gives me some room for all the extra bits and bobs that I might put into my journal. So this is what I'm going to make the cover out of. It's a cereal box, obviously, and it has a wide enough piece. Now, if you've only done 3 signatures, or you've only done 2 or 1, measure it, leave a bit of extra so that you've got space to put other things in your book, and away you go. So I'll have that done for next time. This piece of paper is here because I thought we'd look at what you do with this. And I also told you that we were going to do some of these today. Now, I laid them all out so you can see them. They're all made out of scrappy bits of leftover papers. They're stapled together at the top. So you can have a fishtail or just a single slope. You can have the slopes going in different directions. You can, of course, put other things on the top of them. They don't have to finish like that. And they go at the top of a page. I'll just show you in here. They go at the top of a page either attached to a paper clip that you glue onto at the back of it with some hot glue, or just glued onto the page, and then you have a little tuck spot. So depends on what you want to do. I quite like the idea of that one being a tuck spot there, and it picks up that colour from there. So guess what I'll do? I'll glue that up there. And you see how simple they are to make. You just have whatever strip you've got. We'll make a couple in a minute. Now put that there. And when that's dry, there's room under there for that to be a tuck spot. So I like the way it picks up the colour from there, and it's quite nice. So I quite like that, what that's happening there. Now, the other thing I had this book out for is to read to you the definition of, the clinical definition of gratitude. Gratitude is the appreciation of what's valuable and meaningful to oneself. Gratitude is associated with our enhanced sense of personal well-being. So in all these studies they've been doing, the people who have a sense of gratitude or an attitude of gratitude have a much better sense of themselves and how well they are, how happy they are. So that's why having a gratitude practice is very beneficial. So now let's get out my scrap bin. Oh, I do have something else I wanted to show you. You don't need to make a full clip banner like that. You can just make a piece like that. It can go down the page or across the page for a bit of decoration, and it's just got a fishtail cut in it. I think I showed you how to do that, but I will show you again. You cut up the center and then you cut to that cut on both sides. So that's up the center and to the cut on both sides, and you've got your fishtail. Okay, so now we just want some little scrappy bits. There's a good sized piece. That one kind of goes, doesn't it? They don't have to match, but if they do, bonus. There you are. Now I'm going to cut that one that way. And then that one. I might cut that a bit narrower, I think. You know what? You can't even see that on there. I need a different piece from that. It's too pale. Blends in too much. There's Old Faithful. That'll do us, won't it? So we can have that one. And you overlap them a little bit. Now you can glue them if you want. They can go like that. I like to sometimes do them going the same way or going the opposite way, which I'm going to do with this one. Then I'm going to glue them instead of stapling them. Just going to put a little bit of glue like that. I don't need a real lot. Level them up at the top. I'm going to offset that one, going the other direction. So you just make a pleasing arrangement. And there, that is now ready to be glued to one of the pages in our signature. I'm going to put that there, so I think that would actually be rather nice on there. Now I haven't got my hot glue up here, so I think I'll just put a paper clip on it for now, and then I'll put some hot glue on it, but I could leave it like that anyway. And then what happens is that you pop things underneath it that you want to include on the page, and they just stay there. Easy, isn't it? And they look good as well. So that was the first thing we were going to do. And the next thing is that I'm going to, oh, actually, there's something else you can do which I didn't show you. This is my ephemera book, or one of them anyway. Let's see if I can find a, there's something pretty. No, too hard to get out. I'll get something different. Yeah, I like that. Got it. And you can glue something on the top of it, like that one there would lend itself to that, wouldn't it? covers up the little piece, but nonetheless, that would look quite good on there. So you can actually add something like that. Something else you can do is you can use a punch to cut a fancy hole out of one of the pieces that you're going to use, and then it goes like that and looks rather good, doesn't it? Plus you could also put something on the background in there, a word or something else. So there's kind of lots you can do with these. They're fun. So just put that away. And that. Excuse me. When I was finding a couple of other things that I found the other day, I also found that in one of the cut aparts, which is interesting, isn't it? So here's what I want to do. Do you remember I had this envelope tucked into part of the signatures like this? I've glued this inside there, which is what I wanted to do. Now, what we want to do now is to decorate here, because that's what's going to be seen. And I've got some things out down here. Which I thought would be rather pretty. And we won't use a lot of them. Actually, this is better, because the bit that we'll cut off around there. So what I'm going to do is tear it. Now remember, you tear away from you if you don't want the white innards of the paper to show. So I think that would actually fit in there quite well. Okay, I will tear that off there, the bottom. And now I will go around that. I call this cutting out with your fingernails. I think I told you my friend said she'd buy me a pair of scissors if I couldn't afford one. And of course, you know I've got lots of scissors, but this is just a nice effect. And you could ink around it if you wanted to. I tore the bottom off that bit. Oh, it doesn't matter, you won't know. I could ink around the edges if I wanted to, but I'm not really into inking very much. So I don't think we've done a lot of it, so I don't think I will. It's a bit tricky going around those funny bits there like that, but that's all right. We'll get there. There we go. Just pop that in there so you can see where that goes to. And I think that'll fit on there rather well. And actually it wouldn't matter if it went over the page, I suppose, but got another idea. Maybe I'll take that part off and put it over there. Fits in there a lot better, doesn't it? In fact, if I turn it a bit more, it fits even better. Like so. Okay, let's put that one down. There we go. Excuse me, I just need some paper towel. I'll use this instead. Okay, that's one side partially decorated. And I think I'll put that on the other side because it does go with it, doesn't it? Yep, I will. My Yoo-hoo stick, because it's just paper to paper. Now there's a straight edge there, so now on the back I'm going to put that pocket, which I haven't finished preparing. So I'll just do that now. Just going to glue down there. And I'm going to glue in under there, and along there, and along there. And I'm going to pop it over there like that. Okay, and now I'm going to put it on there. It's one of our explorers. And I'm just going to put the whole piece on there. I'm not going to bother with having more space up there. Just going to have it go in there like that. Now on the front, I decided I'd put that right over there. The reason I'm going over close to there is to cover up that writing there. Then I was thinking that I would put that on there. But I've decided that it doesn't really do anything for it, but it might look all right there. And I think that's what I'll do. I'm using a heavier glue because this is cardstock. I'm using my tacky glue, the piece of cardstock, and the Yoo-hoo won't be strong enough for it. I'm just following the line of that edge of the envelope in it. Might need a teensy little bit down that end, but it doesn't seem to have enough glue. There. This is a piece of baking paper, in case you wondered what it was about, so I don't drip glue all over my cutting mats. All right, now that's that side done. Let's put this in place. Remember us making this, dyeing the paper with our pens, our watercolour pens. I think probably on the very first day or the second day maybe. Then we made the pocket out of it. And now it's ready. I just get a fresh wipe from in here. Get all the excess glue off around there. Make sure there's none on that one either. Okay. Now, I was wanting well, I was going to put that in there, but what a waste. I don't think I will. That'll waste that. So, it won't fit in there either. It's too big. But you know where it will fit? In there, which is what this does. You've got pocket each side, pocket, pocket. So maybe I'll just do some decorating on there. I'll just take that off for the moment. I need a purpley coloured pen. I think that's blue. Actually, that'll do. And I'm going to go Now I'm going to decorate that. I'm going to go circle, stroke, 2 ovals. Circle and a stroke and 2 ovals. Now I'm going to go dot, 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 dot. It's just put different patterned shapes in. Dots, lines, ovals, squiggles. They're in there. I'm going to go there's it, and a pointy bit like that. See, that was pretty straightforward, wasn't it? Now the stroke, 2 ovals, and a circle, a stroke, 2 ovals, and a circle. Dot, 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 dot. I hope you're all well and not too cabin crazy from being stuck inside all the time. Cabin fever is a real thing, you know. Happens to people who live in climates like Alaska or, you know, Norway, whatever, where they have to stay indoors for a long period of time during the winter. And so, of course, we're not used to being indoors and not allowed to go to the beach or any of the other things that we normally do, or the park or whatever. We might suffer from that, which is not a thing that we're used to. So I hope that you're not feeling too much like that. Now I'm going to go did it. This one's a bit different from the other one, because they won't be seen together. I'll have to find some tabs that'll fit into those 2 spots. This one I quite like to go in there, and I might use a green pen on this side. See where I got that idea from? Right there. That's another thing that you can do. You can see things. I'm putting the tip of the brush down, pressing it towards the base a bit. Guess what that gave me? A fern shape. And I might just do a little bit of a squiggle in there to tie them together, and the same up there to just get them to be next to one another. And what else can I do? Just add a bit more to that there. So that just brings the picture out onto the outside. Now with the butterfly, maybe I'll get a black pen. That was supposed to make things easier putting them up there, but I don't think it did actually. They fell to the bottom of the box. So let's make a couple of butterflies now. When I used to teach people how to quilt, one of the things I used to do is teach them how to do this really easy stippling. And one of the things I used to encourage them to do was to do a baked bean. See, there's a baked bean, and another baked bean, and there's a butterfly. So our squiggly thing that we've been doing all along can give us some butterflies. So I'm going to let him travel up there. Then he's going to come out up here, and we're going to have another baked bean butterfly there. So simple, easy, and the black picks up the black and the dark on there, and it's quite attractive. Got a bit of gapping around there. Could stick something on, like just a piece of paper to fill up the space if that's what we want to do. Looks all right. Maybe you want something bigger, like that. I don't know that I've got anything better than that. Actually, you know what? That looks all right, doesn't it? Let's cut the top off there. And let's, there's our fold there. All right, let's come down to there. And I'm going to glue that just shy of the fold there. It just fills up that space. And although you'd think they don't go together there and there, they're not going to be seen together, which I'll show you in a moment. I'm having a bit of trouble grasping that because you probably noticed I have my index finger is missing. That's one of the bad things that happened to me in my life. I got it caught in a saw and had it removed 6 months later when they tried to repair it. Anyway, I don't have the same power in there on that finger as I do with an index finger, so sometimes I'm a bit awkward. If you have any problems grasping things like I do, another thing you can do is keep handy a pair of tweezers, which don't seem to be there anywhere, but anyway, they're in my other kit over there. And they can hold it like another pair of hands if you like. So now let's find somewhere to put that in our journal, one of these other ones, other signature. Find a spot. There, let's put it in there. That goes in there, that goes in there. So now you have one on that side. And because you can't see that there and you can see it there, maybe I need to decorate the top of that so that on this side it has something pretty. Then you have that in there. By the time we put something in there though, you won't see that. Then when you keep going through your journal and you go over the pages and eventually you get to the other side, and there's the other side. So we'll get another one to put in there. Don't know that that will fit too wide. Let's just put this one in for the moment. Another one in there. And then another one in there. So that's pretty good, isn't it? We did a good job there. The next stage is probably to put together all of these signatures into our covers so that we're able to start finding what goes where and what we want to say about something. So I'll just remind you what I showed you. I had the turn back there and I put that on top of it, and you can see how crooked I put it on because it was in the night last night. So I'm going to have to do something about that. Not sure what yet. And I put this pocket on here. It's talking about bush houses in the garden, but I was thinking that if we're talking houses, people do have houses in the bush, and our native Australians, our first settlers, what you'd call them now, the first people who lived on our island continent used to live in bush houses that they made everywhere they moved to, except in the rainy season when they used to stay in cave overhangs. So here we have adobe houses, ancient houses, houseboats, log cabins, big blocks of flats, bush house, and whatever else kind of house you can think of. The other thing I thought you could do is put a photo of your house on there or on there. I think either would look good and you would enjoy reminding yourself where you lived at the time you did this book and why you were grateful for it. We have room here to pop something in. So while we're here, I'm going to just glue, and I left the cover off that again. No, I'm very naughty with that. So what you do with these pieces that you folded up there is you start by, you cut to the centre just shy of the middle, on an angle to the middle. There. You do the same on that side. Get that out of where you're going to sew, like that. And then you put the glue on there. And on there. And up. And there. There's another page practically ready. So we could put a card made like that in there, or we could put one of these larger ones that we made before in there. That looks really pretty in there, doesn't it? Picks up the pink from there as well. Need to find something to put in there. And just excuse me for 1 second while I turn my chair around, because I do have some over here that might fit. There we go. There's one. You noticed I've stitched around this one, which you might want to sometimes do. That one will fit. This collaged one will fit, even though it's not completed yet, it will fit in there. So that's another possibility. This could be stuck on the front of a card. Bigger one than that. I wouldn't put it on this one with the butterflies, but it could go on a card like that and then make a journal card out of that. So let's see what we can do with the next side. So then we have that. We come over there. We've got still a lot of space to do things. That's probably the first page we did ever. Keep going over and over. There's the other side of our pockets. I take that one out of there now and put a more finished one in there. Put a wider one in there actually. There. And it goes right down in, so that when I turn it over there, I'm not seeing the other thing over that side. And I had a little thin one that I think, yep, that'll go in there. So that's how you go about filling them up. Mind you, before you stitch it all together, you'd have to take them out because they'll just cause too much bulk. But you get the idea. Here's one there. It can go in there. That's been stitched around, but it has yet to have its back put on it. And then I'd probably want to decorate that too. So now the next step would be, let's see, that piece that I had before. Look how simply that is. I'm going to use that. Look at that. It just looks really nice. So even your little bits can be used. And center it on there. Get my baby wipe and make sure there's no oozing out glue. And the next bit would be to show you how I would put that, show you where I'd put that, because I don't want to hide that beautiful thing. So what I need to know is which one I put the green, the little tab on the top of. Good question, isn't it? Anyway, I'll just show you anyhow, without trying to go for a search party. All right, I'll get another one from over there on the pile, and I will just show you how easy it will be to attach that. So if I put this one on the top of here with the paper clip that it was glued to, that would be behind there so you couldn't see it, and then that tag would slip in under there and you can still see all its beautiful decoration there. So there's a number of ways you can do these sorts of things. So what are we grateful for this week? I'm grateful for what I live in and where I live, and that I have somewhere to live. I'm grateful I live in our country that's full of very strange animals that you can't find anywhere else, because it was an island and they developed on their own, of course. The other thing is that because we live here, we're a bit isolated from the rest of the world, and we're able to contain this virus. Looks like we're doing good things so far. So if we all just keep staying inside and making junk journals, we'll be okay. So thanks for watching. Bye for now. See you next time.